You're sick. Fever, chills, pain in your chest. You need a doctor. So they bring one. He examines you, nods slowly. Then he opens his bag. And what comes out of that bag will make you sicker, much sicker. Because medieval medicine wasn't designed to heal you. Not really. It was designed to explain you, to make money from you. And if you died in the process, God's will.
This is what your doctor actually did, and why history decided you shouldn't know. First, let's kill a myth. Medieval doctors weren't ignorant savages. They were educated, trained at universities. Bologna, Paris, Oxford. They had theories, frameworks, systems. That's exactly what made them dangerous.
A man with no training might try something and stop when it didn't work. A man with 8 years of education, he was certain, absolutely certain, even when his patient was dying.
The foundation of medieval medicine was Greek, specifically two men. Hippocrates, 400 BC, Galen, 200 AD. By the time the Middle Ages arrived, their writings were gospel. Literally.
Questioning Galen was like questioning the church.
You didn't do it. Not if you wanted to keep practicing. Not if you wanted to keep breathing. And what did Galen teach? A theory so simple, so elegant, so completely wrong, that it would dominate medicine for nearly 1400 years. The four humors. Blood, phlegm, yellow bile, black bile. 4 fluids inside every human body. These 4 humors controlled everything. Your health, your personality, your fate. Too much blood? You were sanguine, optimistic, flushed, restless. The cure? Remove blood. Too much phlegm? Sluggish, pale, cold. The cure? Sweat it out. Starve it out. Too much yellow bile? Angry, feverish, bitter. The cure? Purge it with violent laxatives until there was nothing left inside you. Too much black bile? Melancholic, what we'd now call depressed. The cure was the same. Remove the excess, whatever that took. Notice something? Every single diagnosis led to the same treatments. Bleed, purge, sweat, starve, no matter the illness, no matter the patient. A child with pneumonia, an old man with a broken leg, a woman in labor. Same theory, same treatment, different ways to die. And here's the part history glosses over. The 4 humors weren't just medical theory. They were connected to astrology, to the planets, to the time of year. Surgeons consulted lunar calendars before operating, because cutting during the wrong moon phase was considered dangerous. They genuinely believed a full moon could cause a patient to bleed to death faster. They were operating on human bodies, with knives, using horoscopes, and this was the educated approach. This was the best medicine available. Of all the treatments in the medieval physician's arsenal, one stood above the rest, the most common, the most trusted, the most lethal. The logic was simple. Too much blood causes illness. Remove the blood, restore balance, patient heals. The reality was different. A physician would open a vein in the arm, neck, or behind the knee with a lancet, unsterilized, and drain blood into a bowl until the patient felt faint, until they lost consciousness, until the doctor decided balance had been restored.
Sometimes that meant removing a pint, sometimes two, sometimes more. If the patient got worse, not enough blood removed, do it again. Can't reach a vein? Use leeches. Medical leeches were a thriving industry. Harvested from ponds, kept in clay jars, applied directly to the skin, left to feed. Hospitals kept them by the thousands. Your immune system depends on blood. White blood cells fight infection. Red blood cells carry oxygen. Remove enough blood, and your body begins shutting down. Medieval doctors weren't just failing to treat illness, they were actively dismantling the body's ability to fight it.
George Washington, first President of the United States, died in 1799.
In one day, his doctors removed approximately 5 pints of blood. He likely had a throat infection.
Pulse is weak, the treatment continues.
His doctors bled him to death,
Noted. The human...
and they never questioned it. His Gale the final inception. And Galen was never wrong.
Before we go further, you need to know about the urine.
Medieval diagnosis began with urine, always. The physician would collect a sample, hold it to the light, examine the color, smell it, sometimes taste it. It was called uroscopy, and it was considered a refined art. Charts existed, 20 different urine colors, each one meaning something different.
Dark brown, liver failure. Pale yellow, kidney trouble. Sweet tasting, what we'd now call diabetes.
On that last one,
They were actually right, almost by accident. But the rest? Guesswork. Expensive, formal, physician-endorsed guesswork. While the patient sat there hoping the man tasting their urine had an answer. He usually did. It was almost always wrong. This will help. Take it now. The physician diagnosed. The apothecary treated. And the apothecary's shop was a fascinating place. Dried herbs, ground powders, mysterious tinctures, rows of labeled jars. Some of what they used worked. Willow bark, we now know, contains salicylic acid, the base of aspirin. Honey, genuinely antibacterial. Garlic, antifungal, antimicrobial.
The apothecary was the pharmacy. The herbalist was the chemist. What they were grinding was killing people. Their ingredient lists read like a poison inventory. White hellebore, prescribed for fever. Toxic enough to kill a horse. Deadly nightshade, used for pain, for madness, for purging evil humors.
The patient trusted the doctor. The doctor trusted Galen. Galen had been dead for 1,000 years. Mercury, they called it quicksilver. They rubbed it on skin, made patients drink it, pumped it directly into wounds.
Mercury poisoning looks like tremors, hair loss, teeth falling out, madness.
The doctors saw these symptoms in their patients. They prescribed more mercury.
Lead was worse. Lead was everywhere.
Sugar of lead, it tastes sweet. They added it to wine, to medicine, to food. The rich were dying faster than the poor. For centuries, nobody knew why.
And then there was arsenic. Prescribed for skin conditions, for fevers, for infections, as a daily tonic. A tonic, something you took to feel better. The barber's pole. You've seen it your whole life.
The red stripe isn't decorative. It's blood. The white is bandages. The pole, patients gripped it during surgery. No anesthesia. No germ theory. No understanding of infection whatsoever. The blade that cut your hair Monday, cut your leg off Wednesday. For 500 years, surgery was a barber's side hustle. And the educated physicians, the ones with degrees, refused to touch patients with their hands beneath them. Here's what history doesn't tell you. Some medieval physicians knew. They wrote it down. Hildegard of Bingen questioned mercury treatments in the 12th century. She was largely ignored. Physicians who questioned Galen risked their reputations, their careers, sometimes their lives.
Dissent was dangerous. Authority was everything. And Galen was authority. It wasn't ignorance, not entirely. It was a system that punished curiosity.
The real poison wasn't mercury, wasn't arsenic, wasn't lead.
It was authority, unquestioned, unchallengeable, uncorrected, for 1,000 years. Medicine and the church were inseparable. To question one was to question both.
And patients paid the price.
The next time someone tells you medicine has always been about healing, ask them about the barbers with blades, the mercury tonics, the arsenic remedies, the 1,000 years of authorized poison. Because what came next made the doctors look merciful.
You've been warned.